Hello everybody, I'm James Quattro and welcome to another episode of Riding with Quattro. This is episode 3. A lot to talk about this week. This is several things in the NASCAR world as well as several things in the car world that I do want to talk about. We are driving in the nor'easter that's slamming the northeast today. It seems to only happen on Tuesdays. That's 2 out of 3 Tuesdays that we are dealing with blizzard conditions. I wouldn't say blizzard yet. Supposedly it's going to get much worse and windier and that kind of stuff. Right now it's just wet, heavy snow. We've gotten about an inch. And the roads aren't too bad. But they are definitely calling for much worse. So that's what we're driving through. But let's get on with it because we have a lot to talk about. Make sure you like and subscribe. That's how I know that you like it, don't like it. But if you want to tune in every week, make sure you ring that notification bell and get the alerts when I post something new. Because we've got a lot to talk about this year. Please, any feedback, anything you want to talk about, make sure you put that in the comments below. I'd love to get some ideas from you guys as to what you want to talk about. So please, comments below. Let me know, what do you want to talk about? Let's talk a little bit about Chase Elliott. Not a lot, because that's pretty much been a horse that's been killed. Obviously, he is out for at least 6 weeks. The replacement driver is going to be Josh Berry. And last week we talked about some ideas for that. I'm glad to see that they're going to give Josh Berry the chance to really show himself. I don't think he got a great opportunity at Las Vegas. He definitely did a little bit better in Phoenix, but still not a top tier driver at this point. But again, twice he's been in the car, and you know, if he hopped in and started winning races immediately, that'd be good for him. But I don't think I've seen anybody quite do that coming out of the Xfinity Series. So he's not racing in COTA in a couple weeks. I don't remember who they said the driver was for that, but he's just going to be racing the ovals. So let's talk a little bit about Phoenix. That finish was, I think it was a great finish. The race as a whole was another Hendrick-dominated snooze fest, which I say that tongue-in-cheek because I am a Hendrick fan. I'm glad to see Hendrick is really back in true form and dominating this year. I hate it for Kyle Larson, who's my favorite of the Hendrick stable. That's 2 weeks in a row where it was just so close and couldn't quite close the deal. But at the end of the day, he really can't blame anybody but himself because, you know, he was beaten by his stablemate, William Byron, who was really proving himself as a much better driver than I've ever given him credit for. So I'm glad for him on that. And I guess if you're going to get beat by your teammate, I don't think that makes it feel better. But silver lining, I guess, is that Hendrick as a whole is doing much better this year than they did last year. So that's great to see coming from a Hendrick fan. So I hate it for Harvick. You know, I think Harvick definitely thought he had a good shot at winning that race. But, you know, the one thing that we can guarantee is that you can expect the unexpected. And it's getting to the point now where I think that last late caution is not unexpected anymore. It's almost expected. There's been a lot of talk whether it was a justified caution. My take on that question is, first of all, hindsight's always 20/20. The tire came apart. That would have been a caution anyway. Now, the argument that they threw the caution before that happened, keep in mind, Phoenix is a short track. It does not take long for cars to endanger a spinning car. So, to have a car completely stopped on the track, on a short track, I would rather that NASCAR side on the caution. Yes, my driver benefited heavily from that. But if they had waited, say he stalled out his car and couldn't get it refired, and by the time NASCAR decided, you know what, yeah, okay, let's throw the caution now, and if they were being a little bit more conservative on throwing cautions, well, now the leaders are, in a position where they can't slow down fast enough before making contact. If a car is stopped on track, especially at a short track, throw the caution. And that's what they did. And I feel that from beginning to end that they made the right call. All right, enough on that topic. Let's talk Formula One and NASCAR. This week, Jenson Button made the announcement that he'll be racing 3 races for Spire Motorsports. And when I say Spire Motorsports, I mean Stewart-Haas can't have 5 cars, so they have built, prepared, and given a car to Spire Motorsports for him to run. So, take from that what you will. But he's racing in 3 races. It was organized by Mobil 1, which I don't know how anybody that remembers. Mobil 1 is the same company that organized the Tony Stewart ride switch back at Watkins Glen, where they each switched cars. So Lewis Hamilton drove Tony Stewart's car, Tony Stewart drove Lewis Hamilton's car, and that was sponsored by Mobil 1. So it's good to see them continuing to try to link up the Formula One and NASCAR communities. It really does help NASCAR with worldwide attention. He'll be racing his first race at COTA in a couple weeks. The headline for that is going to be Kimi Räikkönen is also driving in that race. So you're going to have 2 Formula One world champions competing in NASCAR at the same time. I don't know that either one of them has a legitimate shot to win. Jenson Button has a lot of experience getting into different cars and winning. He's raced Le Mans, he's raced World GT, he's raced GT 500, obviously Formula One. So he's driven full fendered cars. So I think he could be competitive. He's in a Stewart-Haas car, so he's not going to be in a car that's, third rate. So I'm curious to see what he can do. But the question, leave your comments below, between Jenson Button and Kimi Räikkönen, who is going to finish higher at COTA? I'd love to know what your thoughts are on that. Let me know. While we're on the Formula One topic, let's move on to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Has anybody seen the illustrations that were drawn up of the Las Vegas Grand Prix? I'm not sure what I was expecting out of Las Vegas. I don't think I was expecting a third-rate, thrown-together cob job of a race. But the illustrations, if that is truly how the race is going to look, is going to be amazing. I mean, it's starting to make a little bit more sense why they're doing what they're doing, where they're doing in the city. I was trying to figure out why start-finish wasn't on the Vegas Strip. I mean, how epic would that be? But after seeing the illustrations of the start-finish line in its location, it makes complete sense. They're putting start-finish in a giant parking lot behind the strip, and it looks, I may be wrong, but it looks like the buildings that are going to be, the suites and the grandstands and all that, look to be permanent. So I'm wondering if they're going to be building this permanent section of track behind the strip, which makes a lot more sense because the only thing they could have done on the strip would have been temporary stands and structures there. So if that's truly what they're doing, it makes a lot more sense that way. And I think this is going to be an amazing event. I can't wait to watch it. You know, it would be kind of cool. I don't know how realistic this would have been for NASCAR to finish their season on the same weekend. You have a joint Formula One NASCAR Las Vegas event. Maybe next year, maybe, I don't know how long the contract is for Phoenix. Frankly, Phoenix has not been the greatest ending race. I'm not sure ending it on a road course is much better, but you know, just the level of event that's going to be would be just amazing to finish the season there. So that's my 2 cents on that topic. On to the car TV topic. There has been announced a new car show that's going to be on NBC. That the dates have not been announced yet, but I am extremely excited for it. It's called Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge. Now, this definitely seems to be I don't want to say, I hate to use the word dumbed down, but more mainstream targeted car show that seems to be taking the concept of like Lego Masters and turning it into a car build competition where the winner at the end of the season, it's going to be a 10 episode season. The winner at the end of the season is going to have their car forever memorialized as a Hot Wheels car. So pretty cool. I can't wait to see what they do with that. I'm a huge fan of who they picked as a host. Rutledge Wood. Obviously Top Gear USA host. But for me, he is a NASCAR analyst. That's restarted. That's how I know him. One of my favorite TV personalities on this side of the pond for cars. So I'm really glad to see they picked him as the analyst. I think he's going to do a great job. And I look forward to seeing what he can do. As I get more details released on that, I will definitely talk about it more, because that is something I definitely look forward to watching. Hopefully they do it right. Let's jump back to Phoenix for one more topic. I almost forgot to talk about the wreck heard around the world. Frankly, I didn't even notice it. I'll be honest, I was not watching the race super closely. I did not notice that Hamlin wrecked Chastain. And furthermore, I don't know if any of you guys watched the podcast that Denny Hamlin has started called Actions Detrimental. It's part of the Dirty Mo Media Group, which is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s podcast company. But he openly admitted on his podcast, yes, it was intentional. Yes, I'm an idiot because it wrecked me too and ruined my day. But it had to happen. Okay. You know what? You got to respect Denny Hamlin for being honest and owning up to his own actions. And that was a big topic on his podcast, is that going forward, he's going to make sure he owns his actions, good, bad, ugly. He hopes that the other drivers do the same thing. That was his lesson to Ross Chastain, that just own up to your actions on the track. And he did just that, set an example. Let me know how you feel about that. I mean, I don't know that NASCAR can really get too crazy and allowing everybody to intentionally wreck everybody, that's going to be a really bad precedent. You know, in this case, it kind of policed itself because he wrecked himself. It kind of goes back to, you know, when I feel like it was Denny Hamlin again. It might have been Kevin Harvick. I'm sorry. That tried to wreck Chase Elliott and wrecked himself instead. I think that might have been Kevin Harvick. But it goes back to that. And, you know, if you're going to play the game, you got to be able to suck up the consequences when it goes bad. And that's exactly what happened. And last but not least, let's talk about Atlanta. I'm looking forward to Atlanta. Another track that Hendrick's good at. And, you know, just hopefully going to continue the Hendrick dominance this year. I love it since it's become a super speedway hybrid, as it were. I think it's going to be very exciting this year, and I look forward to watching it. And we'll talk more about it next week. But that's all we have time for today on Ridin with Quattro. Please, if there's something you want to talk about, put it in the comments. If you want to leave feedback, comments, reactions to what we talked about today, put them down below. I love to read it, love to hear it. Good, bad, ugly. I'm not scared. Send me your thoughts. Please like and subscribe. Ring that little notification bell. I'm really desperately, I don't want to say desperately, I'm really trying actively to get to 1,000 subscribers, so maybe I can get paid for this kind of fun. You know, and watching the video, share it. Yeah, I'd like to continue to do this. And, you know, right now, my last 2 videos are sitting around 15, 16 views, which is not my best videos by any stretch of the imagination. So help me get more views. Would be greatly appreciated. Keep watching every week. If I keep building a viewership, that's going to go up. Check out my walk-around videos. This week, I did a video on the 2022 Ford F-250 XLT. Check it out. I'll be doing one of those every week as well. Those release on Monday night for Tuesday. So check those out. Until next time, see you later.